an introduction.
Oh, all right. Got it. We are here. Happy International Women's Day, everybody. Let's put on our crowns, ladies.
I
Turn
got
up.
my notes straightened up.
Well, we are here today. Thanks, everybody, for joining. So we're here today. Obviously, me and my sister, we deal with investment properties, and we actually have clients that we've helped invest over in other states, other countries. We actually currently have some clients that are looking in other states, and we also have people that just kind of inquire and want to know. So we thought this would be a helpful little video that we put together for you guys. We met LaDonna, who is absolutely amazing and doing some great stuff in Florida, in that market out there. So today we're going to break down a deal that actually one of our clients is looking at right now. But we're going to break it down for you guys so you can see what it looks like in Florida, and specifically in her market. So hi, LaDonna. Thanks for being here.
Hey, this is going to be such a good partnership. I'm so very excited about this. And I can get, this is how we met. We just met and randomly started talking about real estate because neither one of us can not talk about real estate. So it was natural that it led us to this path. So I'm excited to talk about real estate in Florida today and see how we can make everybody some money.
Yes, for sure. Yes, most definitely. I love passion. That's how we connected with her very well, because she's passionate about real estate investing specifically. She's done over, I believe, like 1,800 transactions in the investment space. So definitely someone you want to align yourself with. We wanted to align ourselves with. So tell us a little bit about as an agent, or you do have your license, but now you're more so like full-time real estate investing. So
yes, I have my real estate license. I've had it for I don't know how long now. I actually started off with a sales and marketing company, and we would convince developers to convert their apartments to condos, and then we would put the sales and marketing team together to make that happen. That is where a bulk of the transactions happened, is converting apartments to condos and then selling out a whole community, 200, 300 unit communities. Then the real estate market crashed in 2007-ish, and I got into general real estate and immediately started working with real estate investors. And logically, it made sense to me as an agent to work with people who are going to do multiple transactions. So my first year as a general real estate agent, I did 4 transactions. But honestly, the crazy thing is that was average for my market. Like there was like normal. They're like, oh, good job. You did that in your first year. And then I went from doing 4 transactions to 85 transactions. So my specialty is kind of scaling up. And then working with these real estate investors, I was really doing all the legwork, and I'm like, I want to do this myself. So I started renovating my own homes. My first year, again, I did 4 renovation projects, and then my next year I did 26. So I got the bug. I've been a real estate investor ever since, mainly in single family homes, mainly fix and flips, buy and holds, but just kind of a vast experience from the condo conversions to almost new builds where we'd leave 3 walls. But now I'm actually doing some build to rent properties. And that's where we are today.
That's interesting. Absolutely love that. And yeah, there's the component of the buy and hold, right? And then there's the buy and flip. So it just depends on, what that investor is looking for at that time. There's benefits to both. So, and then what market exactly are you in Florida?
So in Florida, I am in the south. What am I in? I'm basically St. Petersburg down to Naples. My home base where I've lived for the last 20 years is Naples. But Naples is quite the affluent community. Today, we actually have the most expensive listing in the United States, a $295 million home. And a couple other $100 million homes that now just look silly compared to 295. But most of the bulk of my business is in the St. Petersburg area. So St. Petersburg and south.
Okay, awesome. And so what would intrigue an investor to want to look at that market? Like what growth is happening? What types of things?
Right. A couple of 2 years ago, I actually drove around the state of Florida just to, again, put eyeballs on the market myself. And try to understand where did I see the next opportunity. The reason I landed in the St. Petersburg market, was just a massive in-migration, honestly, from out of state and from in-state. You'll see a lot of people who are moving from the Miami market up to St. Petersburg, Tampa. And then, of course, we have the entire Northeast who's moving down. And now we've got people all the way from California. I'm running into people from California quite a bit who are like, oh, I just moved here 3 months ago, 4 months ago. It's gone from a little beach town, like retirement beach town, to a full-on tech community. Kathy Woods, who's the hedge fund manager of ARC, she moved her headquarters from Manhattan to St. Petersburg, and that put a big like fluff in that industry because everybody's like, well, what is she doing? What does she know? Like, and pretty much whatever she does, other people want to follow.
Yes.
So
Yes.
having a teching bank type of a hub, like maybe like a new Austin, maybe. Let's call it, no, that's crazy. Okay. I went too far. I went too far. I went too far.
What is the distance from Miami to St. Petersburg?
That's probably a 3.5 hour drive would be my guess, because it's the opposite side of the state.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go 3.5, final answer.
You win.
I love that. Let's see, what are I guess maybe do we want to dive into
Sure.
Bill? Yeah.
Yeah. So
look at it.
We've talked about a couple of different things. We've talked about turnkey rentals. There's opportunities here for those where basically all the mechanicals and things are recently updated, and so your big ticket items are taken care of. A renter's put in place, property management's put in place. This is for someone who just wants the passive income, wants the real estate, but probably doesn't have the boots on the ground. This particular deal is a fix and flip. So let me share my screen and we'll run through the numbers. Let's see.
The numbers.
Everybody wants to see those numbers. So what are we looking at?
And obviously, kind of what was intriguing about Florida is the fact that, a lot of times investors are looking to either get appreciation or cash flow, but it's almost like Florida can deliver both. So that's why
I have invested out of state as well. And I honestly, and again, I might be biased because I live here, but the appreciation aspect is where you build wealth. The cash flow is great for immediate needs. A $300 or $400 cash flowing property is great, 500. But where Florida really, I think, stands out is you can get those cash flowing. They're not going to be as big as somewhere they might be in Ohio, but the appreciation rate is astronomical because there's such an in-migration from in-state and from out of state. The pandemic really, when we opened up to you could live anywhere, a lot of people chose to live in Florida, and they're still making those choices. And this is outside of the normal in-migration we have of snowbirds and retirees. This is a very popular place to retire. You've got here, Arizona, Las Vegas is up and coming. But we cater to the entire Northeast for retirees. So our age group is a little bit older, but that's okay.
But I mean, Miami is 3.5 hours away. You want to take a flight or a drive.
And then you have the Keys. You have access to so much over there, vacation.
Right. Yeah, like I said, so I'm in Naples. I'm actually going to Miami tomorrow, and we're doing a little girls trip, a micro vacation to the Keys. So I will be in Miami, and I'll be at my friend's house in 2 hours. We're going to make 2 stops on our way to the Keys. And then I'm going to come back Sunday night. Like, I can do that type of trip. I can drive up to St. Petersburg for the day. A lot of times I will drive up there, do property checks, check on the projects, and drive back. I have a place up there if I want to stay for the week, but it's easy to get around. Yeah. So this particular property, this is the one that your client expressed interest in. This is a single family home. This is a very typical Florida 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-car garage, single family stucco home. And running through the numbers, this property I already own. We're already doing renovations on this particular project. This project needed a new roof from Hurricane Ian, and we can talk about hurricanes after we run through the numbers because everybody's so scared of hurricanes. But for some reason, there's still 18 million people living in Florida that are,
just like us with earthquakes in California.
And with hurricanes, we get like 10 days notice. So it's not like, like we can say next Tuesday, there'll be a hurricane. Like you can put it on the calendar type of thing. So anyway, It needed some work because it had some roof damage from Hurricane Ian, but also the owner of the house was a bit of a hoarder. So there was a lot of deferred maintenance going on the interior of the home. So purchase price right here is $241,000. $61,000 is the remainder of the repair cost. I think my original budget was at 85, but like I said, we've already done some repairs to the property. ARV after repair value, and this is a very specific number, and I'll tell you why. $394,689. I'm very particular about my ARVs, but it's based on this number right here, which is the price per square foot. So if you look at the square footage of the house, it's 1,853 square feet. This is what I determined the ARV was 213. So these two fields populate this one. So I don't actually write in this field. You can see right here, it's a formula. So, and I'll show you how I came up with 213 on the back page.
Okay.
Full time is 5 months. And 5 months is from the day I close on the property. We do all our renovations and then we put it on the market, you know, on the MLS or on the market. And then we get a buyer to put it under contract and they go through their due diligence and close on the property. And so that's important because these numbers over here help calculate our hold costs. So if a lender was getting paid 9% interest, the lender would make $11,000 in 5 months. The full dollar profit would be $48,000, and there would be a almost 14% ROI on this property. So I'm always looking at this number, the percentage, and the higher that number is, the more safe I feel doing the deal. But this also takes into effect my, like I said, my holding costs, my buying costs, and my selling costs. So
yes,
this
we had never seen anything like this. This is the most, like the best.
Yeah.
Yes, straightforward, the most straightforward calculation, the sheet that we have ever seen. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's super simple. Like, I can analyze a deal in minutes. So, and sometimes when you're in a competitive market, that matters. And I get to analyze the entire deal. Like some people like, oh, we can buy it for 100 and you can sell it for 200. And like, that's a great deal. I'm like, it depends. I need to see the rest of the numbers. That could be an awful deal or that could be a good deal. So this calculates all your costs. And I think a lot of people forget about your holding costs and your buying costs, and particularly your selling costs. I mean, the selling cost in this property is $27,000. If you didn't calculate that, you're missing a big chunk. That's almost half of what you, like this number would be, you know, almost 70,000, and you forgot to calculate or sell it. You have to sell the property.
Right.
So
exactly.
This is a typical deal in Florida. This is, like I said, this is one that I own right now. This is one that I've got my crews working on, and this is what I've been doing for the last decade. So what questions do you have about the number?
That's a phenomenal deal. So, you know, we break down deals often, and we've been seeing deals around like the $600,000 to $800,000 range, where you're netting about $50,000.
Yeah.
And all of
Yeah, see, to me, like I wouldn't do that deal personally.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because I don't have to.
Exactly.
Right.
Sure.
And that was also something that was very intriguing to us because like she had mentioned, I mean, you're seeing these even in the $1 million range, right? So the $1 million range for maybe $100,000, $150,000 return, whereas you can spend what do you spend? 240?
241.
Right.
Well, let's put 300,000 all in because of the repair. So you could buy 3 of those properties. And now you've diversified your risk. So on a $1 million property where you're going to make $150,000 on paper going into the property, you know, honestly, one line item on your repair costs, you know, could eat 50% of that away. So I would rather have $1 million in 3 properties. And then if one goes a little wonky or sideways, I've still got 2 other ones that are going to pull the line. So it just makes more sense to me to diversify that risk. And having done this business, sure, yes, I've lost money on deals, but I go and make it up on another deal. You know, one loss isn't going to put me in the ground like $1 million, $150,000 loss could.
No, for sure. I love how you listed it around, well, your ARV was around, I think it was 394,689. Like,
I got to go back. Hold on. I forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, please do.
So what I did, so again, if we go up here and look, I got the price per square foot at 213. So again, I feel like I'm an old investor, so I tend to be pretty conservative as much as possible. So when I pull comps, you can almost see like these two are on the same street, Southwest Pembroke, the subject property Southwest Pembroke. These are recent closed comps. This one closed at 241. This one closed at 252, but this one has a pool. This one closed at 205, but it wasn't renovated. So it averages out to 232. So I just was conservative and came in at 213.
Okay.
And another reason I did that was to get this number under the 400,000 mark. I don't want my property sitting on the market for a long period of time. Now, if you're willing to go, I'm a get in, get out type of investor. I could put that house in the market at maybe 425 and give it a whirl and see what type of interest and feedback I get. I would rather just put it up there at 395 and try to generate offers as quickly as possible and then pick my offer and get to closing. But I have friends who are investors like Alana. I would put that on the market at 430 and wait 60 days. I'm like, I'm not that patient.
No. I mean, I personally think, because I was looking at comps as well, I think it's going to probably sell for around like 425.
Yeah.
So something like that. Yeah, your strategy.
I'd say the other part of my strategy is at 395, I'm not very flexible on anything else. Like I'll give this property to you at 395, but you're not going to come back and tell me an outlet's not working or that the screw is in crooked. Like you got a good deal. And so let's just move to closing. Let's just get to closing as quick as possible.
Right. But also, I mean, obviously out here, when you're pricing aggressively in a good market, in a good neighborhood, somewhere desirable, you're going to generate multiple offers. So is it similar out there? How would you?
Yes. I mean, the market has cooled in the last, I'd say 8 months. But it is still very possible to, again, if you price it right and you put out a decent product, you're still able to generate multiple offers. And then as the seller, you get to pick the offer you want to work with.
Exactly. Okay.
So when is this home supposed to be completed?
I think I have 4 more weeks on that one. We actually are not working on that one this week. We completed the roof. We had to demo a bunch of drywall inside. Oh, we had to demo, like literally, I'm talking four dumpsters full of stuff. So there's always 2 types of hoarders that can't throw anything away and hoarders that buy too much stuff. He was a buy too much stuff hoarder. 3-car garage, you couldn't see the floor. Like we just had to clean out and clean out and clean out. But there's also a lot of water damage to the drywall. So we've actually ripped all the drywall out, replaced it. We've done the exterior painting. But we're working on another property this week that I got to get together for a co-living space, which is another call we can talk about.
Absolutely. I love it. So what is this neighborhood? Where does this home sit as far as neighborhood wise? Like what's the culture there? What's,
this, like I said,
like an older community.
Yes, this is actually an area called Lake Suzy. So I think that tells you everything. But in Lake Suzy, go ahead.
I said it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I think I sent you the video like driving down the street.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like I said, it's a very typical, it's an older, I wouldn't say that it's all retirees, but it's older community. They probably moved there to retire from somewhere up north. Stucco type of Florida houses, very nice yards. Some have pools. It's just, to me, it's my typical Florida neighborhood. So yeah, Lake Suzy.
What are some of the disadvantages to investing in your market, if any?
I think there's perceived disadvantages, and we can address those. Perceived disadvantages would be hurricanes. We've had a couple of, like the last Hurricane Ian was pretty substantial because of the amount of area that it covered. A lot of times a hurricane comes in, it's very pinpointed. It comes in some town, like it's called the tribute for Hunger Games. Like we tribute Cape Coral for this hurricane. So the hurricane comes in, messes up a bunch of stuff in that town and goes about its merry way. This particular Hurricane Ian came in and kind of went up the coast. So it did a lot of damage in multiple towns. So that makes a big news coverage. but like, again, I live here right now. I'm in Naples. I'm 6 miles from the beach, and I had some landscape damage, but that's normal for me because I have a very wooded lot. I'm not going to get out of a storm without landscape damage, but I didn't have any structural damage. I didn't have flooding. So the newscaster is going to go and stand in the deepest part of the street that's flooded and do his news report. I think you guys have probably seen in California where they're like, it's awful and horrific. And then you go around the corner and it's fine. So I would say the perceived disadvantages that people think we have hurricanes every year and hurricanes destroy everything. What is a little different about the way we do construction here in Florida is we build buildings for hurricanes. So you're not going to see hurricanes like a Hurricane 2. My mom used to make fun of me because I don't even blink an eye. Like I don't like that does not change my schedule whatsoever. Like I'm not even like when people like see a Cat 2 hurricane doesn't affect my day whatsoever. I'm gonna take notice when you say Cat 4 or the Ian was a Cat 5. So that's okay. Now I've got to probably maybe evacuate, maybe bring the pool furniture in. But a Cat 2 hurricane, I'm not doing one thing different in my life.
Okay. How often do those happen though? Like the Cat 4s and the Cat 5s?
Okay, so that's a great question. I would say like Ian, so that was 2 years ago now. Ian, and then before that was Irma, which was 5 years before that one. So again, they didn't come and hit the same places. They hit different places. The one before that one, I couldn't even tell you who it was. It was probably something on the West Coast. So even if we had one every single, and we probably had one this year, but it was like a Cat 2 and nobody cared. So they probably happen honestly every year, but you're saying like a Cat 4 and above, those I would give them more of a 10-year range. And then it depends on like a Katrina, that was a Cat 4, but that didn't hit Florida at all. It went up and messed up New Orleans. And New Orleans is below sea level and not prepared to handle hurricanes the way Florida is.
Got it. Okay.
So Houston, I forget the one that hit Houston, but the same thing, like if that one would have hit Florida, it wouldn't have had the devastation that it had in Houston because we're just built differently here.
Okay. Well, no, that's a positive that you guys are built differently.
Yeah.
Are there like specific months where the hurricanes are the
Sure.
worst?
We have a hurricane season.
Okay.
Hurricane season starts, and I'm going to mess this up. It ends in November. So it probably starts in May or June. I'm probably June.
Really?
So
whoever wants to come in and correct me, I know I should know this.
Oh my gosh,
I
summertime,
would have never
wow.
thought. But so then do a lot of investors buy properties during that time period, or
Again, it's not a factor.
it's not a factor? Okay, well then that's good to know. That's
Yeah.
great.
I
Again,
wouldn't,
like
hurricanes don't change my buying strategy.
Okay.
Yeah, it really, I would say here's one thing I personally don't do, but again, there's an investor for this is I don't do waterfront properties.
Okay.
And they're built differently. So we're built differently in Florida, and then waterfront properties are built even differently, again, to handle hurricanes. And I think the other perception with Florida is we can talk about insurance. Yes, we do not have a lot of people that provide insurance here. Yes, every single person in Florida can have insurance. Now, it depends on where your property is and how much that insurance is going to be. If you're doing a waterfront property, yeah, your insurance is through the roof. A lot of people who own homes as a first or second home in Florida self-insure. They don't even bother with an insurance company. You know, if a hurricane comes through and does $100,000 of damage, they'll just pay that out of pocket.
Okay.
But there is a state-run insurance called Citizens. So everybody has insurance.
Okay.
And the rate of your insurance is going to depend on where you buy. And you can, a lot of people will put this in the listing, like, oh, this property is in an X zone. X is, I'm going to say high and dry, but in Florida, like that could be 6 feet above sea level. Like, woohoo, we're high and dry.
Okay. This is great information.
It is. No, it definitely is. So what about, so if you take on a flip property that you're going to actually add on to the dwelling, what is that permitting time frame, experience with like?
That is going to be very municipality specific. So, for example, where I'm buying in St. Petersburg, that happens to be an opportunity zone, happens to be high and dry. we have a housing shortage in St. Petersburg, which I think most large cities do. We're 20,000 doors short of housing in St. Petersburg because we have such an influx of people moving in. So the city has become very housing initiative forward. So they've created density zones, the one that I'm buying in, the opportunity zone, where they're allowing more density. You still have to go through the permit process. I'm in the permit process right now of building a new construction duplex, and that process is going to be about 3 months. And then once we get the permit, from the time we get the permit to actually, certificate of occupancy, it's probably another 4 to 5 months.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
But that's just that same, like that's that specific area. Every municipality is going to have their rules and regulations.
Right, most definitely.
Same. Our property tax is high over there in Florida.
I don't think so. What are yours? Can I
So
ask?
we're like
average is like 1.5%.
Okay, so we're like, I think our average is 1.3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Oh,
And again, that's gonna fluctuate from county to county. That's not a state.
right.
Yeah. So like I think down here in Naples it's 1.25, but the state average is about 1.3.
Okay. Now, as far as, let's say that somebody wanted to come in and get one of these deals and, work alongside with all of us, your contractors, are they open to bringing on or working alongside a client?
Yeah, I've got a great group that I personally trust. We've worked enough together that they know the process, they know the expectations. We have great paperwork and documentations of expectations. And yes, they would happily take on a project for someone out of state. I think he's actually working on 2 projects for someone else, not me. Oh,
how dare he?
I feel so betrayed. No. But I have actually referred him to other investors as well. So yes, I have a very good crew. They're very investor friendly and they're very good at communication. Like they're very good at problem solving. He doesn't call me up and say, hey, this is the problem. He'll call me up and say, hey, this is the problem. And here's what I think we can do to fix it. Or here's what I did to fix it.
Yes.
Would you say he's fair as well and doesn't upcharge? And
no, he's fair and
you have
honest. Yeah, he's fair and honest. Else I wouldn't work with him. And I've gone through a lot of contractors. To me, contractors can be one of the more difficult parts of this business. Just getting someone to be, good and fast and fair. And so, yeah, I've gone through a lot and I'm happy with who I have right now.
Okay, that's good to hear. So I know California, we're in California, our market. We are an escrow state when we go through the process of buying a home, selling a home. What is your process?
We go through title. You have the choice. You can go through title or attorney. Nobody goes through it. Not nobody. Okay, let's make some USA Today stats. 97% of the people use title companies. It's just easier. We don't need attorneys, and so I think you can, like, we have New Yorkers come down, and it's definitely an attorney state, so they come with that mentality, and like, well, great, you can do it that way because that's where you're comfortable, but you don't have to. So we close with a title company. We can close a property, a cash transaction in a week. And then loan mortgage properties are going to depend on the lender.
Nice.
Can you give us the top 3 tips that you would give to an investor who wants to invest in your market?
Number 1, do your due diligence. And this is going to be hard to do from a distance, but there's a lot of research you can do. When I was investing out of state, I invested in Chicago for a while. I spent a lot of time, one, being very market specific and which to me was a neighborhood. I didn't try to invest in Chicago. I invested in one neighborhood and then I learned what buyers wanted in that neighborhood. Getting boots on the ground, having a trusted, verified team on the ground that can take what's your direction and then go put it into action. So that's as much as you have to know what's going on. You can't rely on the boots on the ground, but then you need boots on the ground to get the property done in whatever time frame, budget, and sell. Like all the numbers have to be hit by your boots on the ground team. So do your own due diligence, and then trust but verify, and then get boots on the ground.
Love it.
Those are some great tips. Most definitely.
Reason tips.
Well, this was amazing.
This was
We went a little bit long. We were so excited.
yeah, no, we can't wait to see your completed property.
Yes.
Or if somebody wants to swoop in and take over.
I know that too. There's so many other deals comparable.
There's so many. Yeah.
No, that was the whole purpose of us.
Yeah, so I would say, like, reach out to this team, shoot them a DM, say, hey, I want to learn more. Tell them what type of property you're looking for. I only do these partnerships with a few people. So, I trust these girls, like these, again, trust, verified, boots on the ground. I don't want to do a business with a lot of people. I want to do business with people like this. So if you're interested in Florida properties, reach out to them, tell them what you're looking for. Do you want to buy and hold? Do you want a turnkey rental? Do you want to, take on a renovation project yourself and get those double-digit returns? And then we'll work as a team to put something together for you. And I think, should we do like a giveaway or something?
Yes, let's do it. We like giveaways.
All right, how about this? For the first 10 people that reach out to you, how about the first 10 people that DM their email address, we will give that deal analyzer to. And I don't give that to nobody.
Yeah.
But we'll give that deal analyzer.
It's gold.
It is gold. It is literal gold.
Yeah.
The first 10 people that send over their email address to you guys, we'll send them that deal analyzer so they can start analyzing. And again, it works anywhere. You have to plug in your local numbers, but it'll work anywhere.
That's you, y'all.
Well, exactly.
Thank
So thank you so much, LaDonna. Thank you for your knowledge and just your expertise in your market. We definitely are excited to be on this journey with you out there, and we're looking forward. We'll have more
Yes.
videos, lives, all that stuff.
Yeah. Comment below.
We'll break down other things.
I'd say comment below what you want to hear about next. You want to hear about the opportunity zone, hurricanes, like what do you want to hear about? People have hurricane parties. That's how
maybe breaking down a buy and hold and what that looks like, the cash flow wise, and the
development
appreciation.
There's a lot.
Development. We got new builds, whatever you want. I got my pies and my fingers in some pies.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.